Hi, folks. Welcome to Crisco's Corner. Hi, folks. Welcome back. And those of you that are new, welcome. This is a video of the so-called whistleblower hiding in Israel. I'm not sure where he's hiding. He's an Israeli that worked at a think tank outside of D.C. for 20-odd years. This is the one that the FBI is supposedly after in a worldwide manhunt, and he is now in hiding. I think he looks very credible, but like the person that I am, just because he's going against the people that I don't like, I don't automatically believe it. He seems incredibly credible. Let's listen along. This video is going to be a little longer than normal, so please bear with me, because this guy, if even only partially true, our country is in bigger trouble than I thought. And the forces, the powerful forces working against President Trump and others with unbelievable power and skill and just all the money in the world to go after anybody they want to. It's scary stuff. So let's listen to him and I'll comment along the way.
Under normal circumstances, I would be testifying before Congress about my experience with CFC. Sadly, due to circumstances I shall describe here in this video, I am forced to tell you this story via video. My ordeal goes back to a fatal decision I made in March of 2019 to share with the U.S. government my knowledge about the Biden family's relations with CFC.
Now, as the old saying goes, no good deed goes unpunished.
As I said, it was in March of 2019 in a two-day session at the U.S. Embassy in Brussels. I insisted that the meeting take place in March because at the time there were rumors that Joe Biden was planning to run for president. I saw it as my civic duty to alert the government beforehand and give it enough time to probe the issue. I want to be clear. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I have no political motive or agenda. The DOJ sent to Brussels a delegation of 6 people, 2 prosecutors from the Southern District of New York.
Now, think about that for a minute. 2 prosecutors from the Southern District of New York, the first group to indict President Trump on, pardon the pun, trumped up charges on just election violation nonsense. It's even the people that on the left that are lawyers think it's a shot in the dark at best. But think about that for a minute. Things that make you go,
by the names of Daniel Reichenthal and Catherine Ghosh, and 4 FBI agents. One of them was Special Agent Joshua Wilson from the Baltimore field office, which also happens to cover the state of Delaware.
It covers the state of Delaware, Biden's home state, and also the state the so-called Hunter Biden laptop appeared. And other things, the weapons charge and other things that Hunter has done was in Delaware, his home state.
Now you want to ask yourself, why did the government dispatch to Europe so many people? Why 6? Why not 2? The answer is that they knew very well that I'm a credible witness and that I have insider knowledge about the group and the individuals that enriched the Biden family. Over an intensive 2-day meeting, I shared my information about the Biden family's financial transactions with CFC, including specific dollar figures. I also provided the name of Rob Walker, who later became known as Hunter Biden's bagman. Yet, as we now know today from the whistleblower testimony, Gary Shapley, it took the DOJ a whole 21 months to probe the issue and to actually talk to Walker. But perhaps the most alarming information I revealed was of a mole within the DOJ who shared classified information with Hunter Biden and his Chinese partners. I told the DOJ that Hunter was closely associated with a very senior retired FBI official who had distinct physical characteristic. He had one eye. One of the FBI agents at the time even told me, you know, that would be very easy for us to find. There aren't that many one-eyed people in the Bureau.
Yeah, no kidding. There are not that many one-eyed people. Remember, you heard a few weeks ago about One Eye, who was the mole in the FBI and with China and all that other stuff. I mean, this reads like a bad novel, but sadly, I believe it's true.
The information I provided the FBI in March of 2019 was fully corroborated 9 months later when the famous laptop belonging to Hunter Biden, which contained all the emails and receipts, was handed to the FBI. And guess who seized the laptop from the computer repair shop? It was Special Agent Joshua Wilson.
Oh, what a coincidence. That works out of Philadelphia, which also includes the state of Delaware and the federal district. Now, here's the thing. My understanding is the laptop repairman, for those you don't know, Hunter Biden left the laptop to be repaired. In being he has some drug abuse problems, his mind is not as straight as it should be. Forgot the laptop was there. And we know in every state, including Delaware, there's provisions that if you leave something to be repaired and after a certain amount of time you don't pick it up, it becomes the property of the repair shop. Given the fact that he gave several notices to Hunter Biden to come pick it up, he never picked it up. Now, my understanding, I still believe that this gentleman made a copy of it because he's no dummy. Made a copy of the laptop, and then when the FBI seized the laptop, he sent out that copy to the people he wants to have, that copy. So all of these things are in certain hands outside the DOJ and the feds. Why they haven't been revealed yet? Maybe the timing isn't right yet. We'll have to see.
Who was with me in Brussels earlier. In other words, the FBI knew about, from me, about the Biden CFC deals before they got hold of the laptop, way before. They had enough time to investigate the issue, but they didn't. After Brussels, I never heard back from the DOJ, but instead of showing appreciation for my whistleblowing, I became public enemy number one. Over the past 4 years that followed, me, my family, my friends, my associates, we were all harassed, intimidated, and finally, I was prosecuted. Despite all that...
Does this sound familiar? You prosecute somebody with trumped up charges to keep them quiet. This is a pattern we've seen before. This gentleman sounds very credible, but there's nothing to back up his claims yet. We'll have to see.
On the eve of the 2020 elections, I sent my lawyer to Washington to meet with then acting Deputy Attorney General, Mr. Richard Donoghue, to ensure he was informed about the information I had given his department in Brussels 19 months earlier, and also to warn him that there may still be a mole within the DOJ.
One eye.
Mr. Donoghue confirmed to my lawyer that he was aware of my claims, but now we learn from the IRS whistleblower that it was Rich Donoghue himself who suspended the investigation a few weeks earlier on September 4th, 2020, on the grounds that it was, quote, too close to the elections.
The same Donoghue. Little funny fact, when the FBI and the DOJ raided Mar-a-Lago, Trump's home in Florida, they had a rule. Nothing like that with politicos 90 days before an election. They raided Mar-a-Lago 91 days out from the election. That way they were within their rules and they got what they wanted to. Isn't that interesting?
Finally, in February this year, I was arrested in Cyprus on an extradition request from the Southern District of New York, the very same office that met with me in Brussels.
Ones that prosecuted Trump.
7-count indictment said I violated the Arms Export Control Act, and if I convicted, I would face up to 100 years in prison. While I was detained in Cyprus, I was portrayed in the international media as an arms dealer, even though I never traded a bullet in my entire life. In fact, nowhere in my indictment the DOJ claimed or presented evidence that I bought, sold, shipped, or financed any weapons. The US government claimed that I acted on behalf of CFC, and therefore I'm a foreign agent. But let me tell you a little secret. The same CFC that the US government claims was associated with the Chinese intelligence and, quote, an international criminal organization, was a 501c3 charitable organization registered in the state of Virginia and approved by the IRS. The same organization was also a major donor to the Clinton Foundation and Columbia University.
Oh, yeah?
Needless to say that none of their executives were charged for any wrongdoing. If CFC was indeed a foreign entity tied so closely to the PRC, why was it allowed to operate freely as a public charity? Why did the government expose taxpayers to the risk of funding an entity it knew at the time was so compromised?
Things that make you go, that's interesting. That's actually a good question.
Why did they not warn anybody? Isn't the role of government to protect its people?
Only its own people.
So let me propose an idea. Why won't the DOJ make my indictment public? Do it. Make my day. Put it on your website so that every American can see the nature of the allegations against me, the quality of the evidence, and the length the government is willing to go to weaponize the justice system to punish whistleblowers like me. I have another idea. Why won't the FBI submit to Congress the minutes from the Brussels meeting? Let everybody see what happened in Brussels. Why not? Are you trying to protect anything? Are you trying to protect anybody?
I wonder who could that be? Doesn't take long to figure it out.
I also hope that the DOJ can explain why they targeted me in Cyprus and not in my home country of Israel, where I reside most of the time. After all, the US shares a bilateral extradition treaty with Israel. So if any of my crimes are real and serious, and this is not just political prosecution, why did the US need to sneak up on me during a short visit to Cyprus? Do they not trust the Israeli judicial system to judge this issue on its merits? What's going on here?
This isn't about justice. This is about protecting the people they want to protect. But that is interesting, though. As we all know, Israel is a democracy with a parliamentary government, like most European and Middle East countries. They would have to put their evidence out in public. And we don't have any, or it's exaggerated or made up, it tips your hand right away. Let's listen on.
Also, why did the DOJ wait 6 whole years, well beyond the statute of limitation, to indict me? And why did the DOJ choose to unseal the indictment on November 1st, 2022, the very same week of the midterm elections? Could this have anything to do with the fact or the fear that once Republicans gain control over Congress and begin to investigate, their cover-up would be in full display?
Now, we'll see if the Republicans have the balls and the backbone. Sometimes I'm encouraged and sometimes I'm not. Sometimes justice moves slowly, slower than we would like. Let's hope that's the case.
And perhaps the biggest question of all, why am I being indicted for FARA, for ghostwriting an innocuous article for which I received no payment, let alone from a foreign government, when the mother of all FARA cases, the Biden systemic influence peddling on behalf of foreign governments for which they raked millions, goes unpunished? Because I do not have faith that I would receive a fair trial in a New York court.
He saw that Trump was indicted in the Southern District of New York, and I live in upstate New York, and I'm pretty shameful about that. But he sees a former president going through this. He probably thinks to himself, what chance do I have? Am I going to end up like a lot of the January 6th defendants? 2+ years in jail without trial in solitary confinement? Now, I'm not sure if he's an American citizen, an Israeli citizen, or has dual citizenship. I don't know. But he's in hiding right now. And I'll tell you the truth, honestly, it took a big set of balls to put this video out. Now, I'm not saying he's 100% correct and everything he says is gospel. But if he's looking for attention, he's certainly got it. And, of course, we all know how most of the media is handling it. Let's listen to the rest.
Let me tell you why. CFC Secretary General Dr. Patrick Ho, who paid Hunter Biden $1 million for God knows what, was not allowed to mention the word Biden before the jury when he was tried in New York in 2018. The very same prosecutor who is now after me, Daniel Reichenthal, told the judge at the time that mentioning the name Biden would, quote, add a political dimension to the case. And the judge agreed. Which means that if I'm ever brought before a U.S. court, I would not be allowed to utter the word Brussels or Biden. And the real context of my arrest, me being patient zero of the Biden family investigation, would be hidden from the jury. Let it sink in. I, who volunteered to inform the U.S. government about potential security breach and about compromising information about a man vying to be the next president, am now being hunted by the very same people whom I informed and may have to live on the run for the rest of my life.
I did edit some of this. It's about 3 minutes taken out. I didn't want to make the video too long. I wanted the talking points to be clear from this gentleman. So that's his case. Now, will it ever see the light of day? Will anybody actually go to jail? We have an incredibly powerful government agency, worldwide powerful. You can see they can travel around the world and grab people with extradition treaties. And they do have one with Israel. But notice they didn't grab him in Israel. So this gentleman, my understanding is, correct me if I'm wrong, anybody that knows, he was given bond bail and he skipped bail to hide because he's afraid he's just going to simply disappear. Frankly, I don't blame him. I don't know what the bail was. I don't know who posted it. That's incidental. He sounds incredibly credible. Now, whether he's telling the truth or not, I hope we all find out. And I'm glad we have the end of the video here, those of you that stuck it out. This is a huge deal. This makes me fearful for the future for President Trump. If they will do something blatant like this to everybody that's involved in whistleblowing, that means they're pulling out all the stops. They use their power and authority and unlimited resources to make sure that President Trump does not win a second term. And God knows what they're capable of if this is true. Do you think this gentleman is credible? Let me know what you think in the comments. And those of you that stuck out this video for this long, I appreciate it. Until the next time, God bless, goodbye, and good luck. And I have to say this. God save America. God bless America.